For those with good taste.
What is up, tasties and tastettes? Welcome back to another movie review. It's your boy, Lenny, joined again, as always, with my producer extraordinaire,
Dante.
And we're taking it back to the year 2000. You know who else is taking it back to the year 2000, Dante? Have you heard about this this tour that's happening in 2025 yet?
No.
It's called the Where the Party At tour.
Hey, now where the party at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bottles and bottles, we're talking more than that. I think it's the next line.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Sounds right.
Do you want to hear who's on this? It's funny. Ja Rule.
Oh.
Nelly with the Saint Lunatics.
Okay.
Eve.
Yeah.
Actually, I never really thought about how she just spells her name out when she says that.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah. Like Eve just sounded cool, but now I'm realizing that she spells Eve. Fabulous.
Okay, I'm loving the lineup so far.
Fabo or Los.
Fabolous.
Jermaine Dupri.
Jermaine's Dupree?
Well, I went to say Saint. I don't know why. Saint Jermaine Dupri. And special guests. If those special guests aren't Jagged Edge, then we have a problem.
Also, what's Ja Rule in the early 2000s without Ashanti?
That's very true, too. He could just play clapback over and over again.
Nah, because then I need 50 Cent to crash the party and just play Cookie Monster.
The video in my TikTok, I guess he did an interview with like maybe Big Boy or something in the past couple weeks, and they were talking to him about like he was talking about how Jadakiss was the only, like one of the few people who he beefed with that like there was times where he like said some lines and he was like, oh, you got me good with that one. But then they were also talking to him about the time when he bought the first 5 rows out at the Ja Rule concert, and he was just like, yeah, I mean, tickets were pretty affordable. So he's like, it just made sense. He's like, I spent money on a lot of dumber shit. That meant less to me. So he's like, it was something light, you know? These tickets weren't that expensive. Yeah, so that's our flashback to the year 2000 right there. Little nostalgia for you before we get into a movie that's heavily built on nostalgia. Before we get there, though, make sure to drop a like, comment, share, and subscribe on the video.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And ma'am.
The one out there that listens.
There's more than one.
That one lady out there in the audience, make sure to drop a like.
I know y'all out there.
Yeah.
I'm not doubting you.
We know you're here for Dante.
Hey,
yo. You want to talk trivia real quick for the movie Y2K?
I'm actually scared of trivia for this.
Yeah, it's starring Fred Durst, this movie.
Starring Fred Durst. Spoiler.
No, that's in the trailer, dude.
Was it in the trailer?
Yeah, it was in the trailer.
I don't remember seeing the trailer.
Yeah. And you said you're worried. There's only 2 things of trivia on IMDb for this movie.
Really? They didn't want to talk about this one.
First one, moderately interesting. Rachel Zegler replaced Jenny Ortega as the lead in this film due to scheduling conflicts.
Huh.
I feel like this movie would have performed. I don't know if you've pulled up box office. I actually don't know how well it did. But I think Rachel Zegler is not very popular in the public eye, to my knowledge these days. So I think Jenny Ortega would have probably been the better casting for this film.
I don't know if with the stuff she's doing now, if this would have done her any favors.
Jenny Ortega?
Yeah.
You think it's beneath her?
I'd like to think, yeah.
I think she would have fit well into like she's funny and she does like the horror thing well. Like I think she could have added to this film. I understand what you're saying where she's like she's grown substantially in terms of her popularity, but at the same time, like Rachel Zegler's about to play fucking whoever in Cinderella. She played
Snow
Cinderella,
White, isn't it?
Whatever. The trailer looks like ass. The only other thing they had on here for trivia, there's only 2 members of the main cast that were alive during the events of Y2K. That was Mason Gooding and Eduardo Franco. I have to imagine Eduardo Franco's the dude who's from Scream, who's in this movie, right?
I was thinking maybe the kid with the long hair from Stranger Things.
You're right. No, that kid's from Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Which one?
He's like in the last
the rapper?
No. Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
Okay.
The one with the like super long hair.
Yeah, well, I know,
Rollerblading X Games '97.
I know who you're talking about now, but like, well, Mason Gooding was actually one of the people. They're the two. We're right. The two that we both referenced were the ones that were alive for this. Eduardo Franco, though, I feel like he was in something else that I remember. Oh, he's in Booksmart. In The Package is the other one I remember him from. I don't remember that kid in Stranger Things. Are you sure? Oh, Stranger Things.
Season 5.
Argyle.
He was
season
the
4,
kid in
by
the
way.
season 4. My bad. He was the kid in the pizza shop.
Yeah, I haven't watched it since it came out, so I don't remember it all anymore.
I remember after watching that, I think shortly after I maybe watched like Booksmart or something and saw him in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've since then seen him pop up in a couple other things. And every time it's just, that's the association. That's the kid from Stranger Things.
Funny enough, both of these people are in Stranger Things. I mean, we're in Booksmart, sorry.
Really?
Both these guys, yeah.
Huh.
I remember him, like this dude's been popping up in way more now. Mason Gooding.
I got to put a face to the name.
He's from Scream and Scream 5 and 6. He also was in the movie Fall, which we've watched, right?
Oh, that kid. Okay.
I feel like I remember him in something else recently too, but I might be just fucking crazy.
Possible.
It's probably that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's likely.
So yeah, not really much to this except for the fact that those two little bits of trivia.
Let me give you some numbers real quick.
Oh, hit me with the facts.
We opened with a weekend of $2.1 million on a budget of $15 million.
Yeah, doesn't sound great.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll start here. Like, to move into some of the opinions on the movie. I was talking to Dave, and I'm acting like he's not here. He's right there in the middle of the table. Yeah, me and him were talking about this movie the other day because he hadn't seen it yet, but he was like, he said like somebody told him it was really good, and he was like, his apprehension is Rachel Zegler, whatever. But my thing for why this movie, I came out of the movie after seeing it being like, I can't imagine this being that successful. It's so like, it wants to be super bad for the first like 20 to 30 minutes, right? Like heavily.
It very much feels like one
bad.
of those early 2000s parody movies.
Yeah, so it's like very well, I'll get there, right? So like it was very much super bad, like right down like, you know, the party, the themes, the way the two best friends are talking to each other, even the scene that's outside of the convenience store is literally a straight ripoff when the long-haired rapper kid is like bullying them.
Oh yeah.
That's a ripoff from Superbad. Like exactly. Remember when the kid fucking spits on him and like makes fun of him at the beginning of Superbad? Like that's exactly like this movie. To a T. It veers off into its own lane, I think, after about the first 30 minutes or so. It had to. But my problem is the thing that makes movies like Superbad or Booksmart so like successful is the way that they're able to speak to the audience that's around at that time, right? So like Superbad came out the year I was graduating high school. Superbad, like anybody who is my age, like mid-30s, it speaks to your high school experience, right? The way Dazed and Confused, I'm sure, spoke to somebody in the early 90s, like high school experience. It's like those movies live with you forever as like the time period to you. And there's a groundswell around that because so many other people go out and see it because it's going to relate to all of those people. This movie is trying to be that movie in some ways for the first like 30 minutes, but then built in with all this nostalgia for the early 2000s that caters now only to it really. The audience that's teenagers who could relate to these kids can't relate to the film because they don't relate to all of the shit. Like mostly like the same way the cast only has two people that were alive.
They probably had no idea what happened when that kid was connecting to AOL.
Yeah, exactly. Dial-up. They didn't understand when they answered the phone and they heard like the AOL like dial-up sound. You know, like so. But you understand what I'm saying? Where it's like the audience that it should attract is this teenage audience that can like relate to these characters in some ways. But then the audience that it's geared towards is people they're like in their mid-30s, right? So it's two conflicting things, and then I think you end up with neither audience going and seeing it. Because I do think to boot, like the thing with the Rachel Zegler stuff, I think people just don't want to go out and see her in a movie. I think the way she responded to some stuff with Cinderella,
Snow White.
It's funny to correct me again.
No, you just want to make it look like I'm in her camp. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, like I think that she's had some like bad takes, and I think she's turned off a lot of people to really being that interesting. I thought she was fine in this movie, not didn't blow me away. Would I have rather seen Jenny Ortega? Yeah, but she was fine. But yeah, that's why I think that the movie 2.16 is bad. Like that. And showing, I saw like a Thursday night showing, and it didn't do badly. Like it was decently full when I saw it. There was only one person in the theater though that was laughing aggressively loud.
I mean, when I went Sunday night, and basically it was just the group I went with and a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many people did you go with?
4.
Did your group enjoy or not enjoy?
All except for one, yeah. Enjoyed
it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Do you share with like me a little bit though, like where like the nostalgia part? It's okay. Like it. I guess I'm not like super nostalgic about like the year 2000 either. Like I like the music.
I really enjoyed the soundtrack.
Like the soundtrack was cool. But I think sometimes the music didn't really like fit,
lend to the exactly
what it was doing. So like that's the other part where I'm like, this song's great for the time period and the nostalgia aspect, but it doesn't really fit.
It's almost like they
the
focus
vibe.
a little too much on the nostalgia and not enough on anything else.
Yeah, and then so like aside from like I thought like Break Stuff is a perfect song, right? Like that song hits. Like and him singing Faith, which for me is like one of my favorite. Like people underrate Limp Bizkit's cover game because between Faith and they also did Behind Blue Eyes, which I liked both of those a lot in the early 2000s. I loved them playing Faith. Like it was perfect, and him doing acoustic while he's still kind of doing a little screaming is really good too.
Honestly, like I don't recall seeing too much of the trailer. I didn't know he was in it, so like
when he
that first moment when he pops up on the screen, I was just like, oh fuck,
Fred Durst. they de-aged him a little, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, like I was trying to like because I think the hair like they strategically
obviously dyed the goatee, like
and just picked all of his hair off. So I wonder if they just would have done like because I believe didn't he also have the Eminem like bleach blonde hair? I feel like back in the early 2000s. I might be wrong. I do also love the reaction to him from people in the movie, like to where like the kids liked him, but then like any adult, it was just like it would have been in real life. Like you're a fucking loser. Like, your music fucking sucks. That's really good. Yeah. I guess like from a performance standpoint, I thought everybody was pretty good. The main kid, I think he's kind of trapped in the role he played in It a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Did you not realize he was the kid from It?
No.
Because you've seen the first It. I don't think you've seen the second one.
I've seen both.
Oh, you saw both. Yeah, he's the stuttering kid who Georgie's brother. Yeah. Like he is fairly similar, it feels like. He's just a little older version of that character.
And
without the trauma.
Talks clear now, yeah.
Yeah, without the trauma. No, he doesn't have a fear of clowns. That would have been a funny part of the movie if like a clown popped up at some point and he was just fucking terrified of it.
They could have done it.
Yeah, like it would have worked, and I would have been like, "Oh, that's funny, that's clever." I don't think anything. The failure of the movie, I think it's too short. So I think that there's things that like it just kind of happens. Like everything's just kind of there. I think
for me, it's crazy that like this was, I guess it's not a ton, but like $15 million, and it still felt like a very low budget movie.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where the 15 million necessarily. How much did it cost to get Fred Durst and his songs? I suppose you also had to pay for what was it, Wes Borland, his bass player. So that's probably where like at least 7 million of it went.
Oh, you think they got
members,
7?
Just the members of Limp Bizkit
to use them for what, 25 minutes?
Yeah. Wes was like, bro, if I'm doing this movie, pay me 3.5, baby.
Oh god.
Yeah, like it's because going back to the Superbad thing, since I think that's the most comparable part to this. That movie's like 2 hours long, and it's very funny the whole way through. But at its core, it's the relationship between the best friends, and like the heartfelt nature of it is like what Judd Apatow did in so many of his movies so well. Is like in a great comedy in general can do this, right? Have like a really good emotional side that it's playing opposite to all of the outrageous.
Well, I think
humor.
any good comedy is going to also have a decent story.
Yeah, you have to have those mirroring emotions to it, right? And I don't think that there is a relationship in this movie that you're bought into enough. And I think part of that is like the runtime of it doesn't allow you to build relations. And we'll get into more in spoilers why I think that's the case.
Yeah.
because they did make some bold decisions in the movie. I'll give them credit for that. They just like they went for it in some regards in ways that I didn't expect them to. But I think without building a strong relationship to any of the characters and how they are in the movie, it takes away from the payoff to some of it. And I think some things don't hit as well. None of the nostalgia, like thinking about it, stands out as like it was all nostalgia the whole way through, but nothing that really blew me away. Like I love the videos. Like I wish video stores was still a thing. That's the like probably the one thing that consistently like on stuff that I watch that it still has video stores in it. I'm like, dude, like I miss Newberry Comics being a place that I could just go to on like a Friday night when I was like 17 or 18 and just like spend an hour sifting through CDs and movies and posters and like shit like that, or going to a Blockbuster when I was a kid and renting a movie, you know.
I was a Hollywood video kid, but yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I had just Holbrook Video. Like my local town had its own video store. So
that's sick.
And that's where it was right outside of my high school. So after I got to school, I had a friend who worked there and I would just go and hang out. And we would just shoot the shit about like, you know, movies or whatever, you know. And they also kept a tab, so you didn't even have to have the money to pay for your movie today. They just had a little book that they would be like, you owe us this much money when you come back with the movie.
Sounds like dangerous game to play with a teenager.
Yeah. I mean, I you know, a dance always pays their debts.
Oh, I hate you for that.
All right. So before we get into spoilers, I think I came away from this movie being like, it's just very mid.
I came away from this movie being like, wow, that was a bad movie, but I enjoyed it.
See, I don't think I call it bad necessarily. Like, there's bad aspects of it. And again, like that'll be a spoiler conversation, I suppose. But like, yeah, mid to me. Like, had its funny moments, mostly wasn't that funny. Story is like a story, you know. Like some of the action bits are like whatever, you know. Like I think like the initial stuff that you see in the trailer is some of the better parts of the kills, like the party where everything kind of takes off and starts happening. Like that, a lot of that's in the trailer, and I think some of them were inventive. The CD player, the CD kill, I think is one of the better ones in the movie. But yeah, nothing really stood out to me. Even like the Fred Durst stuff, I thought wasn't like
it was
great.
Whatever.
Yeah, you know. So everything to me was just kind of there. Like, hey, this was a fine hour and a half. It didn't bother me to watch it, but not a movie like this should be like a guilty pleasure. I'll watch it like 4 or 5 other times. Like once it's out on like streaming, I'll just maybe throw it on. Like a movie like this should be a go to bed movie.
And I'll probably watch it again at some point in the future, but I don't know if it'll be something I keep going back to.
But you know, like movies of this type, like should have rewatchability for them to be. Like,
that's what tailors to their success, and I don't know if this like
does it
gains a lot more once it flips over to streaming. But
yeah, would you think the reception to this would have been stronger if it was just like a Hulu movie or a Netflix movie?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean,
because especially if we use Netflix as the example, they would have just thrown it in their top 10 list and been like, this is what you should be watching. And then, you know, naturally people would go and be like, all right, cool, I'm going to put that on.
Yeah, I think this would have been perfect on like a Netflix.
Yeah.
Because I think it's not, and they, how do they know this? Like they probably thought it was very funny. I think that it's just my opinion that it wasn't like laugh out loud funny during the whole movie. But
I definitely laughed out loud through a few bits of it.
You saw it with other people too, I suppose. Like whereas
I
like,
guess that adds
like
to it,
that like, you know, that definitely helps where it's like I'm by myself and I'm kind of just like, you know, whatever. I was also like, I'd seen 2 movies back to back. I'd taken a couple edibles before I went into the first one. So like, who knows where I was at. You went in
pretty low energy by that point.
Who knows where I was at by the second movie, you know?
I got you.
I'll tell you, I think I enjoyed the first one way more than I should have. So for me, yeah, it's pretty mid. Wait for it to come to streaming. I'm not telling you to go out and see this one.
I think I'm with you on that.
3, 2, 1.
Spoiler.
Bold decisions. And I'm telling you, this is big spoiler shit. I'm starting off right off rip with it. So if you are going to see this movie, stop now. Come back later. But like the video first. Thank you. I heard the likes. That's why I said thank you. I know you did it right there. The bold decision stuff, right? And where I'm talking about they're just the relationships that you could care about don't get payoffs to them.
The two best friends.
Yeah. So, like, first of all, killing his best friend out of nowhere, bold decision. I respect the boldness to do it, but I didn't like that they did it. Yeah, I did. I just didn't like that they. First of all, yeah, like you don't have enough of like. It doesn't feel like a brave choice from him. You didn't really
build the bond to just kill him off that early.
You just like, oh yeah, like I'm supposed to just care because that's his best friend. I found myself being like, I think I would have liked it better if they were cleaning up the rubble from all of the stuff like later, and you just like find him alive, like he had been like badly hurt, but I think you would have cared more if he had found him and had that moment where they're back together again, where he got to do all this stuff where he stood on his own and learned the lesson from his best friend, and he still gets all, because like that was part of it, right? Is like his best friend's not here anymore, but he's having the flashbacks to the things that he said to him and like having confidence and all of this. You could have still gotten all of that, but then I think you get this full circle moment where they're together again, and I think it would have paid off in a better way to me. But yeah, it just didn't really, it felt like something was missing for the rest of the movie, because he was the comedic relief for a lot of the stuff. Yeah. You know, he was the actual like just shooting a million shots like trying to be funny. He just
starts off as like everybody's favorite character on screen, and then 30 minutes in he's gone?
Maybe less, dude. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. Like, and then I would also go as far to say the other relationship that I thought was kind of interesting. The rapper kid, not the long-haired one, but the other one, right? Okay. He starts building this relationship with that girl, and I'm like, oh, like this is kind of cute, because like they just been talking shit to each other. Like he's the outsider rapper to their little crew of rappers that they have, but they're getting high and like they're having these little moments with each other, and you're like, oh, this is really nice. Like they're gonna be a thing, and again, you just kill him. So it's like they're really banking on in this movie that I care about the Rachel Zegler character, and I can't remember the other kid's name. The It kid.
Jaden Martell.
Sure. Yeah. But you know, like you're almost like banking on the fact that I give a shit about their relationship and I want to see them be a thing, you know? And like, yeah, I kind of do, but like that's just too much of a trope, where I think you had these other interesting relationships that would have paid off more. And I feel like his best friend's death almost doesn't matter enough either, because like when he finally sees the mom again, like he tells her, but I feel like that wasn't emotional enough.
Yeah.
You know, like, and he tells the mom, has like that little moment, but then it's like he's more concerned with making out with the girl. It just didn't feel appropriate in some ways too.
This movie definitely didn't draw any emotion in that way. I think they focus heavy on comedy and not really on much else. And yeah, for me, that's a miss of the movie. Another one, I did not buy the Rachel Zegler is a genius storyline. Bro, that hurt. It hurt to watch.
I hate when they tell me people are computer geniuses, and then I do
the fucking fake typing. They're just doing this. They're doing what I'm doing crazy right now. I'm not typing anything.
Except typing louder. Like, it's how hard can I hit mechanical keys?
I was concerned about the audio, so I didn't actually touch the keys.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like, it's a mechanical keys thing. It's just like, how hard can I hit these buttons to make it sound like a typewriter? While
they're just trying to catch a rhythm here.
Yeah, it's like, so that like, there was even a scene where they're in the like little, when they meet up with her boyfriend and they're in that little like safe house room. And he's talking about how smart she was, and the boyfriend's like, yeah, I don't know about that. And I was expecting that. I was like, is there going to be a thing where they're like, he's built the website, like he did all of this stuff, and she's not actually smart, and like all of this things that he's built up this girl in his head to be is not true. And honestly, that could have played pretty well too. But instead, they stick with the like, her boyfriend that she's like with didn't know that she's this smart, but she built a website. She built a back door to the website with a little mini game. She knows all these big fucking computer words, like, you know, and I was just like, this is not, I don't buy this girl being this character.
Yeah, no, it definitely was painful, especially because like a lot of the terminology they were using, I was just cringing. I was like, oh, that's not even, like, come on.
You know, like, and then the plot itself in where she plays into it, she just has this flash drive
that she made a virus on.
way before. Like
Yeah.
that just is the solve to all of this. And then the other thing that bothers me is Y2K is supposed to be shutting down the computers everywhere. And this is a movie, it's like a plot line in a movie. I get that. I don't need to like read too much into this, but like, where did this movie take place? Did they ever tell us what town it was or anything?
They did tell us. I just forget. I think it was North Carolina.
So
No,
you're
wait.
like,
I'm wrong. I'm reading the wrong thing.
either way, like I don't think it was like LA or like it wasn't like a big city, you know. It was like a small town somewhere, you know, a suburb somewhere, basically. The heart of this entire tech takeover that's like wreaking havoc over the world is in their fucking gym.
In their high school.
Yes. Like
because they were getting new DSL installed.
Yeah, like the birthplace of DSL was their gym.
Yeah.
Like that bothered me so much. I was like, nobody's questioning the fact that they don't need like these the fucking computer people weren't like, let's go to the Pentagon.
No,
you know?
No, see, because that bothered you. To me, that was just so ridiculously funny. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, but and that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. It's just a fucking movie.
Yeah.
And there's a million movies, like The Faculty, for instance, or something. Like, they at least explain this in The Faculty. Have you seen that? Have you seen The Faculty? Okay. So, like, me and Dave talked about this recently on this podcast, like, or on the actual podcast. That cast is amazing. It's one of my favorite movies of the late 90s, early 2000s. But that's like an aliens taking over the world. And they say like, well, why would you start here in this little town? And they're like, well, what better way to take over Washington than through the back door? So like using like the small town next to it to take it over. They at least explain it, but same deal. It's like, why would the aliens choose this small school to take over their teachers and their students and shit like that? Instead of going,
the explanation they gave was DSL.
Yeah, like it's a movie. It's a fucking just a small plot thing. It bothered me somewhat. And then the flash drive thing. Still, it's like,
how'd you get in on the first try?
Well, that's one of the comments I read on Letterboxd. It's like, this movie's very unrealistic. She put the flash drive in the right direction the first time.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, through like, especially when it's like at like she has to like reach her arms
especially
so far.
Especially because like if it's gonna be like a comedy, right? Like that adds a lot of like
tension,
value to like be like, oh, got it wrong.
Instead they did, let's put a condom over her hands.
That was crazy.
Yeah. That was funny though. Like that part's funny where it's like this virgin kid with his girlfriend.
Like, the condom was a character in the movie.
Yeah, well,
I brought up way too much.
That's definitely what made that scene one of the funnier scenes of the movie. Is like, we know why he's been carrying this condom the whole time. Yeah, but like he doesn't get chicks. He just told this girl he likes her, and he has to pull out like a condom.
And then he doesn't even know how to put it on. He's like, I pinch the tip.
It was like, it was funny. I thought that was good. What else was good? I feel like it's so easy to pick out all the bad things. Kid Leroy, he was good.
Kid Leroy was in this?
Yeah. It's the boy she makes out with at the New Year's Eve party.
Oh, that was Kid Leroy. Okay.
Yeah, it was Kid Leroy.
It's crazy because I listened to so much of his music. I don't know what he looks like.
So I do, and initially I was like, because I don't think it got like a ton of, maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I just didn't see a lot of publicity of the fact that like the Kid Leroy is in a movie coming out.
He was Soccer Chris or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. Which that was a funny. It's just Chris. It's not fucking Soccer Chris.
Yeah.
But I thought he, like, when I looked, because I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the Kid Leroy, and then I looked it up. I was like, that is the Kid Leroy.
Oh shit.
He was good. Like for the 10 minutes that he had in the movie, I thought he was pretty fucking funny for the 10 minutes that he got. He played like a douchebag perfectly, when I don't think in real life, the times that I see him talk or anything, he seems like a very mild-mannered, like kind of chill, quiet kid most of the time. I don't know, from like the live performance stuff I've seen of him. So I thought it was like a cool thing to see him play it and play it well. Yeah. For somebody I don't think has done any acting roles previously. I might be wrong.
I can pull that up.
You know who his girlfriend is?
No, I don't.
Tate McRae.
Oh.
Good for him, right? Bag that.
All I'm seeing is music video credits, so yeah.
Yeah, Justin Bieber, Juice WRLD, more of his stuff. So yeah, first role. So he stood out to me as a funny character. What did you think of the raps? Because this movie does rely pretty heavily on bars.
They were very cringy by design, and we'll let it be that.
I like it. Like that is one of the more accurate nostalgia pieces, is like white kids thinking they could rap in the early 2000s because Eminem had just popped up. But not a single mention of Eminem in this.
Neither of them were white.
Well, the kid with the bucket hat was, no?
No, he was like Latino or Middle Eastern or something. I don't know.
I swear to God, I thought he was white. I thought he was Jewish. And then the girl, white? No?
I mean, she was, but she
No.
never rapped. She was just the cameraman.
Yeah, she was just super into rap. And then, yeah, the other kid was Spanish. But, it just, like, fit the time period. I'm surprised, like, for all the nostalgia, we didn't get an Eminem reference, I don't think, in the whole movie.
I feel like somebody got called Slim Shady at some point or something like that.
Maybe. Okay.
I think
don't
maybe the
remember.
kid with the bucket hat got called Slim Shady. I forget.
I didn't know if it was just because, like, the Limp Bizkit Eminem beef still lives, and, like, Fred was like,
Nah.
if I'm doing this, like, keep him out of it.
Shit.
We ain't down with that. The kid from Deadpool, who's the best friend, the chunky kid.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll ever be able to play a different character?
No,
Me neither.
unfortunately.
I'm waiting for the
The only way he gets to play a different character is if he is actually a really good actor and just flips into some like crazy serious role.
I'm waiting for the Jonah Hill glow up. Like
like he gets his skinny body.
like yeah, because you think about like Superbad era Jonah Hill into Accept It. Yeah, like Accept It, Superbad, The Sitter, maybe like just that, or like that mid to late 2000s Jonah Hill when he was fat, and super funny. And then it took him getting skinny for us to be like, oh, you can do serious things too.
Can't take him serious until he loses the weight. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for this kid. Because I like that this kid's like 6 years older and all he did was get taller, but his width stayed the same. like he didn't thin out with the height at all. He just stayed the same exact kid. And him ripping Tybo with his mom, like that was a very funny scene.
Bro, him doing the thong song.
Also very good.
Yeah.
I didn't stick around after the movie.
The
like
post-credit thong
I had
song
already
video.
gotten up and started walking out when I saw them start playing him on the beach doing the thong song, and I was like, I don't need to stay for this. This doesn't seem like much there, but it is funny him doing the thong song.
Yeah.
And he did it well, dude.
Yeah.
Like that at a party
He
could
rocked
go
the room, dude.
Yeah, that party could go left, but he did it well.
He did it right.
Yeah. Anything else that we're missing on the spoiler front? Any other?
It's not a complex movie. There's not a ton to talk about here. You know what I mean? Like,
no. What was the explanation for why they were able to take over how the machines were able to become sentient?
there wasn't. I don't think. I think
I'm
it might have been
pretty sure.
AI.
I'm pretty sure it was like in the coding stuff when she was like fake typing in the computer that she figured out why they were able to become sentient.
She just figured out that they had all like one shared mind or whatever.
And they were basically like the plot of the movie, when you get down to it, is like they became sentient and were like, let's make all these real people go into Ready Player One.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I like that after it's all over, the dad's like, no, it was actually like,
it was cool.
kind of cool, man. And it's like, well, maybe we fucked up.
Yeah, right.
We could have lived forever and just been in
That's
this
like the 100 when they go in the chip. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Life just seems so much better now. Yeah. Just they could have just spent forever in this like video game world with no consequences and let the machines just run shit, And instead, this one kid comes along and is like,
nah,
I want to get this girl and I need to impress her by manning up, and we're going to stop all of this.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. It also bothered me. Like, you have all these people like caught up in the robots didn't give a shit at all that Fred Durst was just putting on a concert.
I know, right?
Nobody, like, all you had to do was go up and like, I just just, they were killing anybody who moved at the beginning of the movie. Yeah. With no rhyme or reason.
But then they had everybody rounded up there and they were just kind of chilling.
Yeah. Yeah. Which if their plan was to round everybody up, why were they so just willing to kill everything at the beginning? This is something I didn't even think about till right now, but it does.
I think there was something earlier when they hacked the first robot and were like listening to the plan or whatever, and it was like, round up everybody you can, kill him if you want to. or something like that. And I was like,
So there was no
okay.
head count that they needed to
no.
achieve. Yeah, but there, maybe there was a head count then, because wasn't that the meter filling up at the end? Was a certain amount of people being?
I think it was just the amount of people they had there.
Huh.
I don't know.
No, because it wouldn't have gotten to 100% then if they had all those extra people that hadn't been chipped yet.
Maybe.
Neither here nor there. This movie, like we shouldn't read so much into the plot because it's a movie not built for plot.
No, absolutely not.
You have Letterboxd reviews?
I didn't pull them up yet, but I'll get there.
So I have one here from George
Lopez.
Yes, yeah, dude, he does look Spanish in his picture. So painfully fine, it actually irked me. Gets so caught up in nostalgia bait and 90s references that it forgets to have a personality of its own. Has its moments here and there that keep it afloat, but it's relatively dull for most of its runtime. I think that's like a very accurate description of this film. I'll tell you, that's most of the ones I read before this were all fairly strong. Like I have a 4-star. Rachel Zegler World Domination Plan is in full swing. A 4-star. Danny did for the thong song what Will Schuester did from Glee wishes he could do. Did a kid from Glee do the thong song?
I guess. Can a conscious hip hop boy and a new metal girl find love? We'll never know.
Brian with a Y. I feel like I've read his comments before. Never thought I'd die next to a rap rocker. How about next to a homie? That was a good line in the movie. But his actual review is, I'm just here to watch Rachel Zegler hack computers in an oversized hoodie. Alan.
Oh, dude, we didn't even talk about it. There's a comment here. It says, does a lot for white guys with dreads. We're gonna talk about him.
It's done the most since I still know what you did last summer. Had the dude on the island who just got high all the time in dreads. You wouldn't get that reference, but somebody out there hopefully does. Alan with 3 stars leads off with a quote, "Without limp, I am nothing."
There's a 3.5-star review from RJ Vision that just says, if they hated this, they should see what happens next September.
Oh my god.
It's so bad. Oh god.
I'm working my mind through what that sequel looks like right now. 18 months later is what it
it's a sequel. That's crazy.
And it's the plane. There was no hijackers.
It was AI.
It was just the technology still. They'd been plotting this whole time.
AI framed the Middle Easterns.
So funny. Just the last part of this Alan comment that had said the "without limp, I am nothing." I cannot believe we live in a world where Fred Durst has a cameo with the same gravitas and cheers as Spider-Man showing up on screen did.
Did people cheer in his theater?
Not mine. I had one person get super excited about Fred Durst. Again, I had one guy in my theater who was like 10 rows in front of me that was very loudly laughing at multiple points during the movie.
Oh, God. The Kid Leroy EGOT incoming.
A 2-star from A Clockwork Cody. Y2K is basically Superbad meets iRobot, except it's absolutely not. I was a little bit curious about the account, on the account that A24 didn't do a whole lot of advertising for this. I thought they did. Like, I saw a lot of trailers. That made me speculate, but after watching the trailer, I thought it would at the very least be dumb, funny, hyper-violent, nostalgic ride. I'm not reading the rest, but
yeah.
That's fair. Cool. I think most of those were pretty spot on. The reviews seem like they vary. Nobody's below a 2.5. So
I've seen a lot of Kid Leroy haters in here.
Really? I thought it was good, but maybe I'm
wrong.
wrong.
I'll read the one I'm looking at right now. I got to see the Kid Leroy's head explode in a microwave, so I have no complaints.
I think that's jealousy because of the Tate McRae thing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's crazy.
He makes good music. Talented guy.
Yeah.
I like him. Damn. All right. I gave this 2.5 stars.
So did I. Where did I drop it though? Uno momento por favor.
I hate that like I sort my list by newest, and then when I go back in, it's back to not being a newest. I have it at 65.
I think I have it at 50 something. I'm getting there. It is at 56.
Okay, so we're within 10 of each other, just on the cusp of it, but 2.5 stars nonetheless. Let us know if you thought this was just a fun, nostalgic ride down memory lane, where the violent kills worth your while. What'd you think of the Kid Leroy? Is the Rachel Zegler hate warranted? Is Dave a cookie? In the bold decisions, were they correct in their bold decisions? Did it make the movie? Do you like the movie less? So many questions. We need answers. Let us know out there. Until next time, though, we out this bitch. Peace.
For those with good taste.